Man, clock in. Black Gotta just walked in. Team Black Gotta stand up, man. Yo. Alright, we back with another video, guys. And this is with Cardi B and her little assault situation. We already seen what happened with this assault. To me personally, it wasn't assault at all. It was like an argument, and then the alleged victim decided to get compensated for arguing with Cardi B. Now, this whole court process was just terrible. It was confusing to me because I was thinking to myself, at this point, these lawyers doing whatever they can to get them a little bad, because it's like, I wouldn't even accept this case if I was a lawyer. Like, she looked like she was lying the whole court process. Man, she was so untruthful through the whole thing. It's just confusing to me. First off, her claim was not only did they have a verbal altercation, it also became physical because Cardi B had 2 to 3 inch long nails and ended up scratching her in her face. Now, even though she said this story, I was so shocked that under cross-examination, she kind of admitted in some cases that she wasn't truthful at first, and she just flip-flopping, switching her story around, trying to make it sound good for the jury, when in all reality, bro, everybody can see through the BS you talking about, shorty. You're a little bit too hot out here. You need some milk. Her first error was when she was first in the interrogation, and she made a claim, and her claims kind of changed from the initial statement she made.
No, Your Honor. Go ahead.
When Cardi put her finger in your face, where in your face was it?
She struck me on my nose and on my cheek. She wears her nails very long, very bedazzled, very sharp. So yes.
And you said it made contact with your nose?
Yes, and my face.
And so 2 times she touched you?
Yes, so she was like this.
When you say like this, she put her finger?
Pointing, yes, so like this. Pointing her finger at my face, yes.
And it touched your nose?
Yes.
What part of your nose?
Whatever part of the nose that the nail landed on, yes.
Oh, I mean, is it the bottom, the middle, the top?
I'm not sure.
And
yes.
You took pictures of the cut, excuse me, that you supposedly suffered after this, or during this alleged assault. And you took pictures way back in 2018, but somehow can't find them. Is that what you testified to?
Yes.
And you testified when counsel was asking you questions that you decided you didn't want to be a security guard anymore. Isn't that true?
Yes.
In fact, you were fired. Isn't that true?
Objection, Your Honor. We discussed this at length.
Overruled. Isn't that the truth? You were actually fired by Allied for acting unprofessionally as a security guard. Isn't that true?
Same objection.
Overruled.
Yes.
And in the incident report, you apologized to your employer, Allied, for acting unprofessionally and exposing them to potential liability. Is that true?
Man, I know y'all can see it in her face just like I can see it in her face. She wanted to renege the moment the whole court process started getting sticky, but she was already in too deep, man. Like, once you in too deep, you kind of stuck in that water, and you just got to keep going with the process, bro. Like, there's not too much you can do once you all the way this deep in. You need deep in. They done spent money for this court date, all type of stuff, and you just up here lying. You just up here lying. Shame on you.
Have you seen those records?
I'm not sure.
Isn't it, well, I hate to ask this question, but they did diagnose you as having severe obesity, correct?
Yes.
And they did conclude that you had full capacity and no history of patient status change. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
The only pains that you complained of, January 25, 2021, December 27, 2021, were belly pain and low back pain, right?
Objection calls for expert opinion.
Overruled. Correct?
Yes.
And you hurt your finger at one point, right?
I'm not sure.
Well, I can show it to you, but let's just move on. You had various things, tailbone pain, right hamstring pain, but you had no report, no reference in 161 pages of medical records to a scratch on your face. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And there's no reference in 161 pages of medical records to anxiety, post-traumatic stress syndrome, blows to your head or face, correct?
Yes.
That only came up when you filed this lawsuit, right?
I'm not sure I know what you're asking.
Also, you were in a car accident in 2021, isn't that true?
Yes.
And hit your head.
Yes.
You were in a car accident again in November of 2023 on Pico Boulevard, right?
I'm not sure if it was on Pico, but it was in that area. Yes.
Right. You sued over that, right?
Yes.
I mean, anybody in their right mind knew it was over at that point. Like, all of these pages, you done went to the hospital, your medical reports, you ain't say nothing about a scratch on your face. But all of a sudden, you worried about, you couldn't even find the placement on your face where she really put her finger at. Now you worry about all of that. Man, this whole thing was just a complete mess to the point where Cardi B was even asleep inside of there, y'all. She was knocked out.
Miss Ellis told Cardi B multiple times, I am not recording you. I am not telling anybody that you are here. I'm simply doing my job. And instead of maybe agreeing or investigating further, Miss Almanzar, Cardi B, got angry and started yelling and cursing and spitting on Miss Ellis and calling her different words, using the N-word to disrespect her, calling her the B-word, calling her fat, anything to try to trigger her and make her upset and embarrass her. Sometimes,
man, my baby girl was in there knocked out trying to keep her head straight. Baby girl didn't ever finna, you know what I'm saying, go to drooling in there like, come on now. She knew it was BS. She ain't care nothing about what was going on, and she got what she ultimately deserved in this case, man. Now, this process of trying to sue people can be time consuming, and it can sometimes get overwhelming, not just for the victim but also for the defendant. As we can see, Cardi B is just wasting hours and hours on a case that's just bad. We seen it was bad. Nothing about this case pointed her in the right direction to really assume she was gonna get $20 million for somebody touching your face. There was no good thing that happened. Everybody that examined her basically said she was capping. She was over exaggerating as if something was wrong with her, when in all reality, you playing with these people like they just slow. If you gonna act extra slow, we gonna encourage you to act extra slow, cause now we know you fake. A doctor that had to analyze her trauma after this situation went up there and simply said she was acting more crazy than the people who is crazy for real.
Okay, and based on that examination, did you reach any conclusions with respect to whether the plaintiff suffered a mental or emotional injury as a result of her encounter with Cardi B?
Yes, I did reach an opinion, as with all my opinions, I reached an opinion with reasonable medical probability in that regard.
Thank you, and what was that opinion?
My opinion is that there is no significant evidence that Ms. Ellis sustained an emotional injury at any point in time in this case, from the time of the incident to present, with the understanding that an emotional injury, from my standpoint, consists of the onset of one or more psychiatric diagnoses in accordance with the American Psychiatric Association's guidelines or criteria, or the substantial worsening if there was a pre-existing disorder, and that in my opinion, Ms. Ellis has never qualified for that in this case.
Thank you. I believe you testified that one of the parts of your examination was psychological testing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you please briefly explain what those tests were?
Yes, so again, what's very important is first the choice of tests. I use gold standard tests that are well validated scientifically and recognized as appropriate tests for this context. So the purpose of the test is that first they have validity scales that look at how somebody's approaching taking the test and what information that says generally about how the individual may be approaching reporting an emotional injury claim, as well as on the test specifically. They then include a variety of clinical scales: anxiety, depression, PTSD, physical symptoms, substance use, cognitive symptoms, meaning things like memory, attention, concentration, personality, psychosis, a variety of factors like that. Have her read the formal instructions at the beginning of the test booklet and tell me that she understands them. And then it's a matter of answering about 335 questions where we bubble in on a separate answer sheet, true or false, for those questions. And then I take the results of that and I use the test publisher's official scoring software, which I have on a laptop computer, input those answers, and then generate a statistical report based upon her answers that provides a variety of scales and scores, and then narrative text, meaning it provides a text description of what individuals like with these scores tend to look like, although it doesn't talk specifically about Ms. Ellis. And you would never want to make an opinion about somebody based on just the test. Again, it's a matter of correlating them with your overall evaluation, with the interview and the record review. Okay, I'm at 229. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you familiar with this document?
Yes. So this is the report of the MMPI-2 psychological test that I administered to Ms. Ellis on July 21st, 2023, and which I provided along with other documents to opposing counsel before my deposition.
And does this document refresh your recollection as to which version of the MMPI-2 test you conducted in Ms. Ellis' case?
Yes, I gave the MMPI-2. That and the MMPI-3 are the most recent and, again, the gold standard tests worldwide in this kind of a context.
Thank you. And that report that you have in front of you, did you create that document yourself?
Well, I created it in the sense that I inputted her answers into the test publisher software on my laptop. I then double-checked the answer through a process that's provided by the software. And then I had the software generate this report, again using statistical algorithm that is intrinsic to the software. I don't personally score any of the scales. I don't personally write out any of the text interpretation that's in it. My job is then, how do I use that information once it's available in an overall assessment?
And is it fair to say that you used this report as an analytical tool in reaching your conclusions with respect to Ms. Ellis?
Yes, again, considering all the information available to me from the records, the exam, the testing, I utilized inductive medical reasoning, a best fit logical reasoning, the same reasoning I would use if I was in an emergency room, if I was a surgeon or I was a radiologist.
Do you use this software and the reports that are generated from it regularly in your psychological evaluations?
Yes, I've used these tests several hundreds of times. I have the highest user rating qualification from both test publishers.
Okay, and do you recall when this particular report was generated?
My best recollection is I generated it, shortly after the examination had been completed, but I just apologize, I don't recall a specific date.
If you look at the top of the page, it says validity scales. Can you please explain what that means?
Yes, so these are the most important scales of their type for this and the MMPI-3 of any test in the world, any psychological test. The validity scales look at how somebody is approaching the test. The first two scales, VRIN and TRIN, variable and true response indicator, look at whether somebody understood the test questions and responded to them in a consistent fashion. So those first have to be valid before you can go on to interpret the rest of the test. The remainder of the validity scales, the vast majority of them, look at their F scales because they look at infrequent responses. These scales become more and more elevated if an individual endorses or answers questions endorsing symptoms that are infrequent, meaning that even somebody who actually had that mental disorder would not actually endorse them. And these scales are scored against a large statistical population, cross-section population of the United States. And then the last couple scales, the L scale, looks at a different type of potential manipulation, portraying yourself in an overly positive or virtuous light. And then the last one is just a correction to that.
Thank you. And what do Ms. Ellis's test results in this case show you? I'm sorry, specifically with respect to the validity scales.
Yeah, so looking at these, it's more fun to do it from memory, but looking at these scales, they demonstrate that when Ms. Ellis took this test, that she generated scale elevations in the range that only reasonably could be interpreted as either severe symptom exaggeration or symptom fabrication. From a psychiatric standpoint, obviously I'm not giving a factual opinion. So if we look at F, the third one over with a T-score of 83, so these are compared against a normal bell curve of statistical scores where a T-score of 50 is in the middle. And every time you go out 10, you're going out another standard deviation. So at a T-score of 83, the F scale that looks at things like anxiety, depression, PTSD, she generated a score more than 3 standard deviations above the norm. And statistically, only 48 people out of 100,000 would actually generate that score, even if they really had the condition. If we then look at the other scales thereafter, the FS scale, S is for somatic, meaning physical symptoms. The FBS, which is the fake bad scale or symptom validity scale, and the RBS scale, those look at physical health symptoms and they look at cognitive symptoms like attention, concentration, primarily if you're evaluating a brain injury claim. And so on those scales, with the understanding that, as I'll discuss, Ms. Ellis has not sought out any type of, from my review of the Kaiser records in my audio recorded interview, any type of physical health problem whatsoever, and certainly hasn't had a brain injury. These elevations are extraordinarily high. The FBS, or fake bad scale elevation, of a T-score of 102, at 5 standard deviations above the norm, only 2 individuals out of 1 billion would actually have that score if he or she had the actual disorder. So these are extremely high. They're far beyond the range of somebody who could just be distressed and is trying to emphasize how distressed she is, or so-called cry for help.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't think we needed a doctor to let us know that she was over-exaggerating. I mean, she's asking for $20 million for a finger in her face. I don't think exaggeration could go over that. She going overly exaggerating. It's not P, ma'am. You're not P. But this right here is when we knew the case was completely over with. And that's when the person that was actually there to split apart Cardi B and the individual suing her, and she basically let it be known, girl, why is you trying to sue folks and you know you lying?
At any point in time in that confrontation, did Cardi B hit Miss Ellis?
No.
At any point in that confrontation, did Cardi B cut Miss Ellis with Cardi's fingernails?
Objection calls for speculation.
While you were there?
No.
Did you hear Cardi B use the N-word, excuse me, I apologize. Yeah, no, did you hear Cardi B use the N-word? You know what I mean by the N-word?
Yeah. No.
After this encounter and Cardi B had gotten into the doctor's office, at any point after that, did you talk to the building management about what had happened?
Yes, that was a Saturday. So Monday, my supervisor and Dr. Finke wanted to make a report since there was an incident, and you know, the importance of making sure our patients, you know, their privacy isn't compromised. So yeah, they asked me to go downstairs with them, or with my supervisor, and make a report.
After this incident, did plaintiff call you? Miss Ellis call you?
It was, yes, there was a call transferred to my line, and it was her on the other end of the call.
How long after the incident? How long after February 24 of 2018?
Maybe, I can't recall exactly, but at least within, I don't know, 3 months. It wasn't right after, but it wasn't too long after.
Can you tell us what the sum and substance of that conversation was?
Just kind of upset about what happened. She got fired. She couldn't believe that happened and wanted, I guess, to see if I can assist in any way since I was there. I pretty much replied as respectful as I could and just said, you know, this is my place of work and I really can't have anything to do with this.
And was there any other thoughts that you had when she told you, or did she tell you she was planning on suing Cardi B?
I don't remember word for word, but based off of our conversation, I assumed that was probably going to be one of her steps. But in my mind, I just was kind of shocked that she was calling based off of what took place. I figured, you know, she was at fault, so that was surprising that she would call me.
Okay. Thank you. Those are all the questions I have.
Okay.
Girl, we know why she called you. Girl, because she called you to tell you, hey, man, I'm finna sue her. I need you to be along with it. I'm finna try to get 20 M's off her. And I'm going to throw you an M. You know, depending on what you say, I might throw you 1.5. But just come through, cap with me a little bit, and let's get this money. The lawyers was with it. She wasn't. Because, like, bro, when you really think about it, there was no way this case would be successful, in my opinion, due to the fact that she didn't really have no injuries for real. And on top of that, she claimed she was emotionally messed up. Girl, you from the trenches, and you're a security guard. There's no way a security guard girl from the trench could get her emotions all messed up over an argument. Girl, you live for that. Girl, you made that your career. Snapping on people for no reason, securing the premises, potentially beating people up if they get wrong. Girl, that's your job. And you want us to believe you was scared. What the heck going on out here, man? But Cardi B ultimately got found not guilty, guys. Here goes the video.
Contributory negligence. Number 8, did Ms. Ellis prove all of the following elements of negligence? Number 1, Ms. Almanzar was negligent. Number 2, Ms. Almanzar's negligence caused Ms. Ellis to suffer physical harm rather than only emotional distress. And 3, Ms. Almanzar's negligence was a substantial factor in causing Ms. Ellis's harm. Answer, no. Section D, punitive damages. Question 12, did you answer question 4 and 7? Answer, no. Signed this date, September 2nd, 2025, by foreperson George Bulola, number 3.
All right, is it in Mr. Poetry?
No, you are.
All right, let me ask the foreman, was it unanimous as to all the questions?
Yes.
All right, so the question that the clerk is going to be asking is, was it unanimous as to all questions?
Question 1.
Or just all questions?
No, as to all questions?
Was it unanimous?
Was it unanimous?
Yes.
And go through each of the jurors. Was it unanimous?
Was it unanimous, juror number 1? Yes. Number 2? Yes. Number 3?
Yes.
Number 4?
Yes.
Number 5?
Yes.
Number 6?
Yes.
Number 7?
Yes.
Number 8?
Yes.
Number 9?
Yes.
Number 10?
Yes.
11?
Yes.
And 12.
Yes.
All right, sounds like it was a unanimous verdict as to all questions. Can the clerk please record the verdict?
The verdict has been recorded, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and dedication to this case. I know that you've paid...
All right, so that was basically it, guys. And as we can see, Cardi B won the case just like we knew she would. And what we are going to do is to see what everybody has to say after the case, man. I guess I'm going to see y'all on the next video.